Hello everybody, how you guys doing? My name is Abby Green, popularly known as Boo Boo from Boo Boo's Boulevard, and today I wanted to share something that hits home. And it's been a sad day for me personally, not like anything happened around my family, but it was because of the news that it's going viral now concerning a secondary school boy who lost his life to bullies in the boarding school. Now, this hits home because I know how much I do not like boarding school. My secondary school mates know this. By now, if they're watching this, they're probably laughing. Yes, I was the crybaby of school then. But I had my reasons. And I told myself that as at this point, I know I'm not sending my kids to boarding school. Yes, the kids can be so trying sometimes, and in fact, I could just threaten them, you would go to the boarding school. But deep down inside, I know it's something that I don't want to do. Now, let me be clear, boarding school is not bad. It is not bad. But personally, I feel that the cons outweigh the pros. Boarding school is for helping your child get disciplined and independent. So I'm sure that's what our parents also had in mind when they were sending us off to boarding school. They wanted this independence and discipline for their kids. So I can totally understand that. 20 years plus, going back to my JS1 in secondary school, it's not something that I would always love. It wasn't, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth because JS1 was when I went to the boarding school. I remember how much I felt at first when they were buying the provisions and all that. Provisions in Nigerian terms means the milk, the hot chocolate, the cereals, the biscuits, and all that you need to go with to school. And they were giving me my textbooks and everything. I don't know about you, I used to get so excited whenever I see my textbooks. I was so excited that I was going to boarding school, but I did not know what I was going into. So when we got to the gate and they checked us in and all that, so I was like, yay, boarding school, we're here and all that. That was the day, just one, and I was so excited. We got to school and they checked us in. Then it dawned on me that I was not going to see my parents, so I shed a tear or two or a bucket of tears, but that was natural. It was me being homesick. The next day and the next day and the next day just went on like that. But there was something about the environment that I didn't like. Now, let me emphasize, let me put it out there that boarding school is not bad. In fact, I learned a lot. In fact, the longest friendships that I have had, it started in boarding school. So it's not a bad place. There are some pros to it, very good pros. But now I'm going to just focus on the con, this one con, which is called bullying. It was a norm. It was normal for seniors to bully juniors. You hear so many strange stories. It was a norm for seniors to ask juniors for outrageous tasks. Like I've heard a senior would give a junior like maybe an array of clothes that the junior one will wash and iron and get it ready the next day. We've had issues where there will not be water in school and you have to travel a distance to get a bucket of water. You will go as a junior student to go get the bucket of water. As you're coming back, a senior will take it from you. They do not consider the fact that you went a long distance to get it. There's something they call a bullied. If you went to FGGC Abloma, you know what I'm talking about, of course. There's something they call a bullied. So by the time you come back from getting your water, somebody or people, most times is the seniors, that would come with bowls and they come scoop water, bowls of water from your own bucket that you have suffered to go get. They will not go that distance. They will take from you. There were some inhumane acts Like some people, they'll tell them to tamo bunk. Tamo bunk means like you should hang on the double bunk and just suspend yourself. Tamo the board or something, or probably the board. You should suspend yourself on the board, the blackboard. There has been issues where they'll tell you to go under the bed and catch pregnant mosquitoes. Some stories, my goodness, like it's ridiculous. If you're not from Nigeria, you will not understand that these things happen. And recently we were writing a survey about school experience, and I was sent this thing that I should fill it up, and it just made me narrate my secondary school experience, the boarding house experience. And I said that was a part that I hated. I was crying for most part of JS1. Yes. JS2, JS3, SS1, SS2, SS3, SS2. Okay, at SS2, I didn't just like boarding house for this period of time. It was in SS3 that I started getting a hang of it. Of course, you're a senior, nobody's going to bully you. But when I now reached SS3, that was the time that they changed the strategy, the structure of dormitories. So normally in a dormitory you have different, in fact in the school you have different boarding house colors. So you have the alamander, you have, which is yellow, you have primrose pink, you have lavender purple, you have jasmine green, and all that, bluebell and all that. And in each dormitory, junior dormitory, you have the junior class, that's JS1 to JS3 in one junior dormitory. So JS3 people tend to bully the JS2 and JS1. Then in senior dormitory, you have SS1 to SS3. SS3 people tend to bully the SS2 and SS1. So by the time we got to SS3, they had changed the system. So SS3 now had a dormitory. So everybody in SS3 was in their dormitory. So they were forced to do things themselves. So we didn't have the opportunity to ask juniors to go fetch me water, go get my school uniforms and all that. We didn't have the opportunity. I'm calling the opportunity like I was waiting for that time to come. But that was the only time I enjoyed boarding school, because we were free. But the rest of the time, somebody was always bullying. Like, this is 20 plus years, and I can still remember their first names and last names. I can remember their faces of the people who wanted to be inhuman to me or my classmates. You hear horrible stories. You hear in the name of being a prefect or something, they would tell kids to lie down in very gory gutters and filthy toilets. My dear, let me save you the graphic stress. And it's people, I could remember clearly, people who had sensitive skin. There was a lot of skin irritation. It's clearly telling you that you were not supposed to be doing the things you're doing. But the seniors do not want to understand that. They would put you in those kind of positions. I had to get a strategy. I had to come up with a coping mechanism, because I was so homesick that I was crying all the time, and I was writing letters to my parents. But my mom wanted me back, but my dad was not having it. And I got so desperate that I started joining a day student friend, and I would follow her in their car when they come to pick her. I'll follow her so that I can go and stay in my uncle's house. He had a family, so I was always joining their family. I would stay in my uncle's place, and my uncle and his wife, they were even more than happy to come to have me, because they didn't want me to go to boarding house. And my one incident, my mom went to visit me in school, and they told her that I had gone to my uncle's place. That was how she carried her bag of food. with the jerry can of water that she brought for me. And she was like, I saw her from a distance. Me, I was there happy teaching some kids around math. And she said, what are you doing here? I said, I don't want to be in boarding school. I don't want to be in boarding school. That was how she bundled me to the house. They had to call a meeting. My mom, my dad, my late grandmom, everybody was just there. Then they sat me down and said, now tell me why you're always running away from school. Is somebody bullying you? No. Is somebody touching you inappropriately? No. So why are you running? I said, I don't just like it there. I don't just like it there because I felt that that environment was toxic. It was not normal for people to treat other people like that. Like, where do they have that conscience from? It was demonic. I remember clearly one time, one girl, I'm not going to mention her name. For me to even remember this, that means it was traumatic for me. There were mosquitoes everywhere, of course, in the dormitory. But there was this particular room where it was my room and there were no fan. The fan there wasn't working. So usually what we do is we go to the other people's rooms and sleep because of the fan. This girl, she was my senior then, took it upon herself that I will not go into the fan room. That she wanted the mosquitoes to bite me in my own room. Hey God, if you see mosquitoes, fat mosquitoes, those ones that can't fly, you kill them, there's a splash of blood in your hand. I begged her. I said, please, I can't do this. It was so bad. You can't sleep. They were buzzing around your ears. And she said, no, you're going to stay in your room. Other people had left, but she told me that I was going to stay in that room. And so the mosquitoes were coming and all that. Around 1 a.m. Now, she left that same room because she was in our room too. But she left that room to go and stay because she was a senior. So she went and stayed even under the fan and all that. There's this thing that we do. Like, they bring all the beds together. Like, it looks very, I don't know what to call it. Kind of like a sleepover kind of thing. So she went to the other room and was taking fan air, fresh air, while I was there battling with mosquitoes. 1 a.m. I got up, went to the other room. I found a corner and I was sleeping. Do you know that this girl woke up around 3 a.m.? Came to the corner. For her to find me in that corner, that means she looked intentionally, because it's not something, if you're even carrying a sleepy eye, there's no way you'd even remember what you did. You just go back to sleep. She woke up, came around 3 a.m. and woke me up and said, I told you not to come to this room. Go back to the room. It was that traumatic for me. I went back to the room. Of course, I did not sleep well. And I swore for that girl. Hey, God. I said, whenever I see you in life, I was going to talk to her and ask her, why were you doing what you were doing? I just want to know. I'm not going to beat you or anything. But now this life, where are you now? Like, why did you do that to me? So like, these are the kind of things that were happening. There was this dreaded day that we juniors were so afraid to see. It was called Red Night. Red Night was when, I don't know whether the new prefects that they have chosen, they just go all out with the seniors. They just go all out. You just see like a pack of seniors coming to junior classes, beating them, telling them to run. Like, if you run, oh God, they will be barking at you. Like, it was so militarized. I don't know the word to use. I think it was a military zone. They'll be barking at you. Like, I cannot hear you. What did you say? Bow on your back. Like, come on. Hey, God. It wasn't normal. But for the fact that they think this was normal, there was stampede during this ruckus of Red Night. They would tell people to run. You will see people falling over others, like stampede. People get injured. And it was normal to them. To them, they feel they are showing their rights as a senior. People got hurt and all that. And when they report all these things to the school authority, they see it as normal, that that's what is toughening you up. Is that how we'll be in barracks every day of our lives? Is that like after the school, after secondary school, university and all that, now are we in barracks all the days of our lives? So what is the toughening up for? What about mental toughness? What was I going to fight a war? They saw it as normal. You will report, form teacher, you will report, even matron, the matron that's with, like, normally when you bring your child to school, you just say there's a matron for that dormitory. So that matron was also in charge of the dormitory, basically. So your parents would just go, please just take care of my daughter, blah 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 and all that. You will report to that matron. That matron will not do anything. They see it as normal. It's just punishment. They told her to squat for 1 hour. Why would you be squatting for 1 hour? Oh, it's just punishment. Like, if people tell you their stories, secondary school boarding house is traumatic for most people. I don't know about most people, but for FGGC Abloma, except they have changed it though. But 20 years ago, it was nothing to write home about. I think it was when we left that they started trying to change things. I was now hearing that they were trying to change things. But my dear, it was not. I had to find a coping mechanism. My coping mechanism was my doctor's report. One day I was having this issue with my navel and everything. I used to have a big navel back then. Not too big, but it was more than the usual. So I used to have some pain. I think that thing was just gas pain. I used to have that pain, but it was more like gas pain. But when we went to the doctor now wrote it on the paper that it was umbilical hernia. My dear, that was my passport to happiness. We say pursuit of happiness. That was my passport to, I was like, this is it. As soon as they gave me that thing, anybody that wants to punish me, please, the doctor said I have umbilical hernia. Hey, anybody that wants to send me on errand, the doctor said I have umbilical hernia. And whenever I had those episodes of tummy ache, tummy pain, I will over animate it. I will so animate it. It was painful. Like it had a kind of pain that could be managed, but I would animate it so that I was exempted from any mass punishment and everything. It got to a point where that was my passport. Do you understand? Like, I was always showing that people knew about it. Like, okay, yes, so no, don't touch Abubele. Abubele, oh no. She has this thing with her navel. Didn't you see how she was rolling and everybody? And I'm sure some other people too that had health issues, they had to just over animate the thing, because who won't die for this school? Hey God. I said that was how I was freed from all the punishments and the bullies, the secondary school bullies. And I don't wish it for anybody. Like, it's not something that I am looking forward to my kids experiencing. I love the fact that you learn how to fold and do things yourself and all that, and you really have lifelong friends from those kind of environment. But the downside of it is that they could also teach you bad things you're not supposed to learn. So if you're not really grounded as a child from home, your values will be thrown out the window. Okay, so it's this boarding house school things. Parents, I think you guys should take time to consider what the boarding school people are offering. I just feel, I know boarding schools these days are really nice. I heard some people are even adding weight in boarding schools now. No problem. I heard that they pamper them very well. Fine, better. But if it's a boarding school where all these bullies and things, outrageous things are still happening, I don't think you should take your child there. Ask questions. Ask questions. And when your child keeps on bugging you, telling you that he doesn't want to go to boarding school, she doesn't want to go to boarding school, then listen. Listen. Don't be so heady about the whole situation. I was just one of the lucky ones. Like, I had to get a coping mechanism like that, like I said. So because of that, and because I was musically inclined to, I was part of plays and everything, I got a chance to have friends, senior friends after. And there was a tool I was also using. So when I had all this provision given to me and everything, I would just stack my biscuits. I had a lot of biscuits, rich tea, digestive. I was very good. My dad could buy so much for me there. So because of that, I'll just open my locker so that so that some seniors will see it. And that was how I was getting friends. So that was one of the coping mechanisms too. And another one was somebody would just come and tell you, do you want to be my school daughter? I didn't used to say no. I say yes. So in the end, like, I got like 6 to 7 school mothers, and they did not know each other. I guess if I was a guy, I would have been a player. They didn't know each other. This one will ask, would it be my school daughter? I say yes. So I had them exercising their power at some points. Like when my doctor's report is not working, I will call one school mother, like that. It was because I just needed a way to cope. Maybe that was the good side, that it actually taught me how to cope, how to get from a sticky situation. But boarding school, you guys, the school now that is on fire for this boy's death, they had better look into it, because no, I won't wish for any parent to be in this kind of position. And the parents of even the boys who bullied this boy to death, I don't even want to be in their position. See, some toxic environments, they see it as normal. That's my problem with this boarding school. When it's so toxic, they will still see it as normal. You just don't have, you have to grow a thick skin. Thick skin for what? Are we military guys? This is supposed to be a short video, but the story hits home, so that's why I had to just whip up this camera and I decided to make this video. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you're doing well. Please write in the comment section, what was your experience as a boarding house student? I would like to hear from you. I did my boarding house in Nigeria. I would like to hear your country and how it went for you, your state even, or even your school. If I talk about the details of boarding house, it's going to be a lengthy video, but I'm going to stop now. So from me to you, it's XOXO. Please don't forget to subscribe, okay? And press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post my videos. This is the Vlogmas series, but I had to make this video. So from me to you, it's XOXO. Bye.